Hello, I'm Crimson Clover Blossom, and welcome back to Clover Reads. Today I have a Reddit story for you from the Am I the A-hole, Would I Be the A-hole public subreddit titled, Am I the A-hole for telling my fiancé that my little brother is more important than him and our upcoming wedding? From user QuitLady3013. And just from the title of that, I'm going to say, no, probably not. But let's get into it and see what happens. I'm 30 female, and I'm currently 2 months pregnant with my first child, engaged to my fiancé of 3 years, James, 31. For a little background, when I was 15, my parents had my baby brother. And 5 years after that, I was 20 and Matt was 5. My parents and Matt were driving home when they got into an accident resulting in my parents' death. I am sorry for your loss, OP. After the accident, I was completely destroyed and devastated, but I had to pull myself together to be there for my brother. On the following month, I buried my parents, and with the help of my aunt and uncle, I applied for guardianship of my brother. It took about 7 months before I was approved. Punctuation, please. I had to get a stable job income, which I did, proper housing for me and my brother, which I did by using money from my inheritance to buy a house and other little things. But in the end, I got my guardianship of my brother. It was hard at first, working while looking after my brother. It's easier now, but there are still ups and downs, but I would do it all over again for my brother. I met my fiancé when I was 27 at a gathering, and we just clicked after 3 months of dating. He proposed to me. At first I said no, because I still had my brother to take care of. But after thinking, I said yes, and we agreed to wait until we were financially stable. 3 months of dating! My God! In the beginning of this year, he wanted to tie the knot, since I was pregnant, because I didn't want my baby to be born out of wedlock. And we started preparations, and the wedding is happening in October. But from what happened last week, Saturday night, it looks like there isn't going to be a wedding. Now, this was posted 8 months ago, so this would have been October of 2024. There were many issues where we fought and resolved. For example, the wedding date. The date my fiancé wanted for the wedding was on my brother's birthday. I had a problem with that. I wanted to throw my brother a big birthday party since he's turning 15. Happy birthday, OP's brother! So I offered the week after, in which we argued. He even ran to his mother to try to convince me, but I stood my ground, stating my brother's birthday is important to me, and him. There was a little more fighting, but we ended up coming to a resolve. Then there were the roles I wanted my brother to play in my wedding. At first, I offered my brother to be his best man, but he said he wanted his best friend, and I said, okay, that is perfectly reasonable. And then I said, ring boy. He would hold the rings on the little pillow and bring it up to us. But James said he wanted his nephew. I said, okay, and loved it. Saturday morning, I was watching this TikTok video where the bride asked her male best friend to be her man of honor, and I thought it was sweet, so I decided to bring it to him. When he came home, I was in the kitchen while my brother was at a sleepover at his friend's house that Saturday night. As he entered and sat, I said, I have the perfect role for Matt. What is that? Him. I thought he could be my man of honor, and then both wedding parties, then coming out as couples, they'd come out as singles. Me. Him. What? Man of honor, or I'll call it my brother of honor. That would be lovely. That does sound really adorable. I thought you wanted my sister to be your maid of honor, so that can't work. Him. I never agreed to this, and what about my brother? I want him to play some role in my wedding. Me. I was thinking he could be a guest and sit in the rows. Oh my God. That is so cold. I was completely shocked. Like, I wanted my brother to be in my wedding, and not some side guest. I didn't know what to say. He wanted to put my brother on the sidelines, his whole family playing some part in the wedding, and most of my bridesmaids were his cousins. Only 2 were close friends of mine, but this he couldn't grant me. I stopped what I was doing and told him no. It was my wedding too, and I wanted my brother to be my man of honor. And he started that his sister was better, and my brother would be a guest, and he didn't want children in the wedding party. I completely lost it and started arguing with him, from one thing to the next. Since Saturday, he hasn't come home, only sending his brother to pick up some of his stuff. And his mother and sister have been blowing up my phone, but I'm a selfish woman, and so what if my brother's a guest? Oh, okay, that is awkwardly phrased. His mother and sister were saying that she was selfish and shouldn't care if her brother was a guest. So the last time they called was Wednesday night, and I went batshit crazy on both of them, using language I'm not proud of. But I ended the call with, yes, my brother is more important than him and this wedding if it's happening, and I will never put him in front of Matt. So, I'm sorry, and let James contact me to talk things out. Okie dokie. That's a little... Uh, I've heard of bridezillas trying to erase the male parties, uh, family members, and organizing things the way they want. But trying to... I wonder... Okay. Conspiracy theory. I wonder if OP's fiance at this point thought that maybe her brother wasn't really her brother. Like a 15-year age gap, if you're being paranoid. Because we have seen it in other stories where people have passed off as siblings their own children, like the parents adopting their grandchild and raising it as their older child's sibling. Does that make sense? I'm hoping that's not the case. I scrolled through the comments and I didn't see anything from OP hinting that that was a possibility, but there are 2 updates to the story. So we'll see. First update. Hello everyone. I'm very sorry I didn't get to update it due to me being busy with work and canceling every wedding preparation I made and preparing Matt for sports camp. I would like everyone to know that I will not be marrying James, and we broke up. On Friday this week, after posting my original post, I got a message from James asking me to meet and talk, which I only agreed to if I could pick the day that we could meet, which he agreed to. He's being agreeable. I find this suspicious. After picking a day, which was Saturday, where I knew that Matt wouldn't be home all day, and I notified James, he came around the midday period with his mother. I was shocked when I opened the door, letting them in, as I sat in my living room not saying a word for a few seconds, which made the moment more awkward. Then James started that he was sorry for leaving and staying away because he needed to think. Then his mother started condemning me, saying that I wasn't acting like a future wife, and I should put my future husband's thoughts into consideration, and lots of other comments. Shut up, mother-in-law. OP, I'm disappointed in you. You're getting married. You need to stop acting like this to your future husband, she said to me. How rude. I scoffed hearing that, then turned to James asking what was his problem. What was his problem with my brother? And it has more to do with me showing attention to my brother than him. He sat there not saying a word for a while, and then stated he wanted a life with me and the unborn child, but not with Matt. I felt utter disgust for him at that moment, as he continued to say that, after the wedding and having the baby, he thought he would convince me that raising a baby and a teenager would be hard on both of us, and it would be best for me to send Matt to live with my uncle and aunt, but he would allow me to still support Matt financially. Oh my god. You know, I'm glad OP said they're not marrying him, because this is such asshole behavior. OP is not an asshole. The ex, so much an asshole. I was completely shocked, and before he uttered anything else, I told him, sorry, but no. It isn't happening, and my brother isn't going anywhere. I stood up and took off the ring, handing it back to him, and told him that it was over, after saying that both him and his mother got up arguing that I didn't have to do that and I will regret this. And he started to cry, asking me to think about what I'm saying. I just walked over to the door, opened it, and gestured for them to leave. A few minutes past then, they headed through the door with James crying and pleading while his mother was calling me nasty names. And later on in the evening, his sister and mother rang down my phone, cussing me out. But I only told them to let James come for his remaining stuff. I would have packed it up and sent it through somebody else and not let him come back. There are a few things I would like to respond to. I saw many ask why I didn't choose Matt to walk me down the aisle. I gave my uncle, my father's older brother, the role, because after the whole funeral, he was there helping me to acquire guardianship, and just being there over the years for both me and Matt. 2. Furthermore, I made a mistake in my original post. Matt is turning 15 this year. I didn't see the typo, I'm sorry for that. 3. Many of you advised me to abort, so I wouldn't have any times to James, but I'm sorry. I had to think, and I wouldn't do an abortion, and I would carry the baby to full term. Fully OP's choice. They always could have given up the baby, or let James have custody. Please do not let James have custody. 4. As many of you stated, I should sit down and talk to my brother, and if James ever mistreated him when I'm not around, which I did, but he said no. James mostly ignored him, and he does the same. Plus, I also told him the wedding is off. Good. And on to the current update, which was 7 months after the last update. Hello, everyone. First and foremost, Happy New Year. Happy New Year, OP. It has been a while since my last update, but I'm back to provide some updates. I want everyone to know that I gave birth to a beautiful baby boy who I named after my father, and things have been going well between me and the baby. And Matt. Matt is excited having the baby around. Aw, that's good. I was a little worried that he'd be upset at having such a little one around. My uncle and aunt were present during my labor and delivery, and the day after my son was born, James and his parents visited the hospital, but I only allowed James to see our son. And according to my aunt, James' mother attempted to make a scene, but was quickly silenced by my uncle, go uncle, who threatened her with police action. My aunt and uncle moved in after my discharge and will stay with me until June. This isn't the only update I want to provide. Last Friday, James came over to see the baby after he asked to talk. He asked if there was ever a chance for us to get back together, to which I immediately said no, telling him that the day I returned the ring was the last time we had a romantic relationship, and that all I'm looking for and hoping for him is a co-parenting relationship. It took 10 minutes before he reacted, but he agreed and departed. So I'm currently looking for and scheduling meetings with lawyers to attempt to set a suitable co-parenting schedule for us, which I hope he agrees to. But aside from that, I'm looking forward to raising and providing for my baby and Matt, so they may be the greatest life possible. I'll keep everyone posted on the adjustments, and once again, thank you all for your comments and support. And that was the latest update from OP. I am happy that she didn't marry him, because I think she would have had a very miserable time of it. Also, please don't marry someone you've only known for 3 months. Or at least they agreed to a long engagement. So OP had plenty of time to, get to know him better. And I would really like to know if there were other red flags that didn't just get sprung up suddenly. Because, surely her interactions with his parents and his sister had to have shown some red flags earlier than that. Well, hopefully they get the lawyer to draft everything up really quickly, and hopefully he will sign it without causing too much trouble, and hopefully they get the parenting apps so they don't have to communicate directly. Although I could see James trying to get around the parenting apps to try and wiggle his way back into OP's good graces. But yeah, the moment he was like, no, I think your brother should go live with other family members and not you, because it's gonna be too hard. That is such red flag territory. And I'm really happy that OP stood their ground, protected their brother, and now they're free of whatever dead weight presumably that the ex was dragging them down. And I think I will try to keep an eye on this. If there's an update, I will post it in the comments. Until then, thank you for listening. Thank you to OP for sharing their story. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.